Happy Whiny Palooza Wednesday.
That's great, honey.
Yep, great way to start off.
Happy Whiny Palooza Wednesday.
It is Wednesday night. It is my mother's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Gabby.
Oh, you're making me yawn.
Sorry.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to my mom. I realized that Whiny Palooza Wednesday is on my mom's birthday, and I don't know why I didn't write about my mother.
Because we kind of had something else going on.
So I'm curious. I asked, so in the Whiny Palooza Mom group, if you go comment right now, there is a challenge. The question is, what did you learn from your mom? So Seth, what do you think that I learned from my mom?
Is this a pop quiz?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Pop quiz for my honey.
What have you learned from your mother? You have learned to be sweet. You have learned to be warm. You have learned patience. You have learned kindness. You have learned to include everybody. You learned to cook. You learned to parent. And you learned to work your butt off.
That was really good.
Well, I'm glad I passed that test.
Thank you for passing the test, Mom. I hope you saw the pop quiz and what Seth thinks I learned from you. I hope
it was right.
That my mom had a good day, and I can't wait to celebrate her. And stop yawning! I'm sorry, he's making me yawn. So school was just canceled.
For tomorrow.
For tomorrow. There's no school tomorrow. Does anybody nobody's here. Is everybody celebrating that there's no school tomorrow? So let us know why there's no school tomorrow.
Aren't you in charge? Don't you know stuff, people?
I need to go check out the weather because
there's no snow.
There's no snow. I'm assuming the snow is coming.
Or it's just a cold day.
I'm assuming there's a reason why there's no school. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me. Nobody's on here, so nobody can answer me.
Ella, can you bring me my phone?
Ella, do you know why there's no school tomorrow?
Well, considering when I checked the weather, it was going to feel like 1 and less than 1 and multiple points tomorrow.
Okay, so you think it's maybe a temperature thing?
I think it's more of a cold
They're not
day.
letting the kids go outside because it's too cold.
Also, the teachers are going to get slammed. Also, the South Towns are probably going to get slammed with snow.
So one of the problems that we're finding is that the teachers are coming from other districts and have trouble driving to school. So that could be part of it too. So Seth is going to look up why school is canceled tomorrow. If you are newly joining us, school is canceled tomorrow.
In the Williamsville School District.
For us, for our kids.
Yes.
So I had a couple of ideas. I was going to write about travel. I was going to write about the holidays. I had all these ideas brewing in my head. And then Seth said, I know what you need to write about. Honey, what did you tell me to write about?
I told you to write about the case of the missing keys.
So
that has been going on in our house.
So a week ago, so last Wednesday, when Seth left for work, I said to him before he left for work, Max's keys are not hanging on the key rack. And I need Ella's spare keys before Ella leaves because I had a feeling I was going to need the spare keys. Now we keep the spare keys in Ella's backpack because Ella goes to Max's car, gets in his car, waits for him, and we don't want her standing in the cold. Bad move. Ella couldn't find her keys. Max's keys weren't hanging. Ella wanted to leave. You and Ella leave to go to school. Max wakes up. Max and I can't find his keys. Guess what?
You had to drive.
I drove Max to school. So I drove Max to school. He wasn't happy. We had no keys for his car. And I was like, well, I guess I'm throwing out my plans for the day. I guess I'm looking for car keys. Now, mind you, I was not mad at Max. I have lost my keys, my phone, my wallet. I have lost things. I know what it's like, and I know that it happens. Max is like, hey, it's been a year. It's been over a year. I've never lost them before.
First time for everything.
So I take Ella. So Max expects me to just look for his keys all day, but
until you find them.
Until I find them. I take Ella to the orthodontist, and I'm like, bring your backpack. I search through her backpack. I find the spare keys. I text Max that at least we have the spare keys. I found a key to his car. Crisis averted.
First crisis. Half a crisis.
Crisis number 1. I take Ella back to school. I spend most of the day looking for the keys, and it decided to snow.
So we got to clarify the story. The night before, Max went to the gym, pulled his car in, locked the car, came in the house. Then overnight, it had snowed a lot. So when I went out the next morning, brushed off the car, like the theory then became, what if Max dropped the key accidentally and now it's covered in snow somewhere?
So from Wednesday until Monday, I spent a lot of time looking for these keys. I cleaned the house. I organized the house. I cleaned the house some more. I thought I pulled Max's dresser apart. I pulled the mudroom apart. I was about to pull the garage apart.
I went on my hands and knees and dug through the snow where I thought he walked to get to the grass to see if he had dropped them in the grass and not heard that he dropped them and it was covered in snow. Rebecca and Max both spent hours shoveling the snow off the lawn and off the driveway, going through it. Rebecca went to the library and got a metal detector. Max and I both took turns with the metal detector trying to detect the keys through the snow and had no luck. My family and we wasted hours and hours and hours of days and days and days of time and lots of stress. And then Rebecca tried to say, I said, well, maybe we should get another key.
So Seth went to Suburban Lock and Key in Kenmore.
Well, first you called one of them and they said, we can't make you that car key. You have to go to the one in Kenmore. They can do it and here's how much it costs. I then drove to that one in Kenmore and it took them 15 or so minutes to say, the people on the phone shouldn't have told you that and they shouldn't have quoted you a price. They would have no way to know. And it's not just the key. We have to wait for it to come in. Then you have to bring the car back and get the key programmed to your car. But after all of that, I said, okay, fine, let's do it. I'll spend the money. And then they said, oh, wait, we didn't buy the latest update to the Toyota key software programming thing because we didn't have enough people doing it. It wasn't worth us spending the money, so we can't do it. So you're going to have to go to your dealer and it's going to cost even more money and it's significant.
So all of a sudden, keys are hundreds of dollars. So I don't know if you know that, but I didn't know that.
Because they're now all computerized.
So
it's not just a car key.
So Seth comes home Monday night, and he's super happy.
I came home from work Monday, very, very excited. Am I telling them why I was very excited?
And called a family meeting.
Yes, I called a family meeting. I got all the kids. They had already eaten. I had come home late and gotten them all to come down at the dinner table. And I presented because Ella had recently been in Murder on the Orient Express, so I presented my detective story of how I solved the mystery of the keys. And it turned out that when I went out to brush his car off in the morning, I used his keys to unlock the car, and I put them in my coat pocket along with my own keys when I was running both of our cars to defrost them. And then when I came back in, I took my coat off. What I did not know was when I put my coat back on to leave and I took my keys out, I did not know that there was a hole in my coat pocket. And my keys are so big, it did not affect them. But there's a hole, and Max's car keys is one key, so it fell through the hole in my coat pocket and went into the bottom of the lining of my coat. So when I pulled my keys out to go start my car to take Ella to school, I said, oh, okay, I don't have Max's keys. I must have hung them up. And then Rebecca was like, Max's keys aren't hanging, and Ella wanted to go, and I was ready to go to school. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. They're not in my pocket. I must have hung them up. They must have fallen in the mudroom or something. I don't know. Gotta go. And left Rebecca to deal with that, when it turns out it was all my fault, and I had the keys the entire time. So I did my detective story of how I solved this problem, and I was over the moon excited because I was going to be the hero who saved the day and found the keys and thought my wonderful wife would be super happy and give me lots of hugs and kisses because I had found the keys and solved the mystery. My expectations were completely interrupted because my wonderful wife was not excited and roses and sunshine that I had found the keys. She was mad that she had wasted all of those hours and days looking and stressing for the keys when I had lost them. And she was not happy. She was very mad at me.
So first of all, instead of coming in with a detective story,
yes,
of how he solved the case,
I was so excited that I had solved the case.
Needed to come in with apologies for wasting my time.
I did say I was sorry I wasted your time, but each day that we had been looking for the keys, I had visualized myself finding the keys and you being so excited and me being the hero that I found the keys. And then I actually found the keys and I was like, there was a second I was like, oh crap, it was all my fault. And I was like, you could say that you found them someplace else. And I said, no, I'm going to be honest. It's my fault. I'm super excited that I found the keys. Everyone will be happy I found the keys. And my wonderful wife was not happy that I found the keys. Well, she wasn't happy with me. She's happy that we got the keys back.
I was just curious about, so when Seth said he went to brush the car off, I don't think that, A, I don't think I remembered that he did that. And B, I don't think I realized he had taken the keys to do that.
Oh, you can't
Because
start
I
the
have
car
brushed
without
off
the keys.
Max's car without the keys before.
Right, but you can't defrost it without the keys.
Well, so when I look up and Seth is leaving, Seth and Ella are leaving and we're all at the door, and I look up and Max's keys aren't hanging. That is the moment where Seth should have said, well, I had the keys last because I defrosted his car. So I wonder where I put them, instead of assuming that it was Max.
I didn't say it was Max. I said to myself,
You didn't tell me that you were the last person with the keys.
honey, my head was at work. I was halfway out the door already. I wasn't saying, let me retrace my steps and think about all this. I was like, we just need to go. I'm sure they fell somewhere and Rebecca will find them. And I'm sorry about that.
So had
I was not
known,
present in that moment.
had I known that Seth had anything to do with that, things would have looked very different. And I think that we learned some lessons that we're going to talk about.
Yep.
So let's start with not jumping to conclusions. So I did not even consider that it was Seth or me or Ella or Lily. I just assumed it was Max. And I was like, okay, so Max, either they fell, maybe Max put them where they went and they fell, or he put them somewhere else. So I was like, okay, I got to figure out what happened to these keys, and I got to figure out what Max did. I totally jumped to conclusions, and we shouldn't do that until we have all of the information.
Right? You don't know anything yet is one of my favorite lines.
I mean, Max was like perplexed when we told him his keys weren't hanging. He was like, that's where I put them. That's where I always put them. So if your keys don't have a designated spot, do it now. We have a designated spot, and Max puts his keys there every single day. He has a spot for his wallet. He has a spot for his keys. He needs to be consistent and do that every day.
And he is 99%
And
of the time.
and it was not his fault.
It was not.
At all.
All my fault.
My dad was like, did you get mad at him? And I'm like, I really wasn't mad. Like,
You were mad at the situation.
I was mad that I was wasting so much time.
We were mad you couldn't find them.
Okay, so I'm going to say this with an explanation. I'm going to say that laughter eases frustration, but I'm going to tell you I wasn't there yet. So I took Seth's coat. So the keys were inside of Seth's coat through a hole.
In the lining.
I took Seth's coat. I sat down on the couch and I sewed up the hole.
Which I said I was going to do, but you wanted to do.
I was very upset and wanted it done.
You sewed it out.
I wanted it done yesterday. So I sewed up the hole, and Seth is trying to make me laugh, which I appreciate. So I love that Seth tries to bring humor in, and I just wasn't there yet. I can semi-laugh about it. I think as the days go on,
It's too soon.
I think that I will laugh more as we tell this story, but find the humor in the situation. I'll try to be a better example. I think sometimes I'm good at it, don't you?
Yes.
Sometimes I just laugh. Sometimes things are just so absurd that I
You
laugh.
say, you just got to laugh.
And sometimes I don't want to cry, so I laugh.
That's a good coping strategy.
Everyone makes mistakes, and Seth said to me, Seth says that to me because I can be hard on me and I can be hard on him.
Yep.
And he will say, everyone makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect. I'm human. And I tried to tell myself, listen, he made an honest mistake. He totally forgot that he had the keys. I wish he would have told me that he had the keys.
Wasn't even thinking about it.
It is what it is. Just remember that everyone makes mistakes and nobody's perfect.
Yes, that would be helpful.
Seth has said to me, must be nice to be perfect.
Yes, well,
But I don't think that I'm perfect by any means.
But you understand in my mind that you get, let's say, so mad that I think the only reason someone could get that mad is if they thought they never ever screwed up, never made any mistakes.
No.
So if you know that you're human and make mistakes, and you would you greatly appreciate the grace I show you when you make one, and I don't give you a hard time about almost anything.
Okay, so
maybe
let's talk.
you could freaking relax and not yell at me so much.
So okay.
In that example,
So
one example.
So that means to me that you are easier on yourself than I am on myself.
Okay, tell me more about that.
If you are,
I think I'm easier on you.
Okay, if you are able to be easier to me than I am to you, that's an indicator to me of how we treat ourselves.
Oh, yes. You are totally a much harsher critic of yourself than I am of myself.
Okay.
Yes, you beat yourself up way too much.
So talk about why you aren't hard on me, because you're not. You're not hard on me.
Because you are way harder on yourself. You've already beat... If there's something that's happening, 9 times out of 10, you are more upset with yourself than I could ever be, and there's no point in me making it worse. And I'm just trying to make it better. It's rare, maybe, I don't know, once a year I'm making something up where I'm mad at you and you're not mad at you. And you think I'm wrong for being mad at you. It's rare.
Because you're saying I'm usually mad at myself.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't need to be mad at you. You're already mad at you.
So you've seen through the years how upset I get with myself, so you try to make it better.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially if it's something that I'm not upset about. Like if you're mad at yourself and I'm not mad at you, it's super easy. If I'm mad at you but you're more mad at yourself, I can be like, she's already got it covered. I don't need to add to her stress. It's the one rare time that I'm mad at you and you're not, that there's actual conflict.
Right. Like when I messed up in the parking lot and was so upset.
Oh, when you got in that minor fender bender. Yeah, I wasn't mad at you. I was just, are you okay? Yes, okay. Is the other person okay? Yes, awesome. We can fix the car. All I care about is that you're okay. And you were all mad at yourself.
So hundreds of dollars, and Seth could care less.
Hundreds of dollars, but that's okay.
Was it thousands of dollars?
It's
Cars,
okay.
You could do a little dent on your car, and it's not cheap.
No, it's not. We'll just bump that out and buff it out anymore. You got to replace the whole fender now, and it's $3,000.
I did have a guy.
I remember the guy.
I did have a guy fix. So someone had hit me in a parking lot and took off. So I had no idea who hit me. It was like a hit and run. And I came out to my car and I was like, hey, who did that to my car? And I did tell the guy what happened, and he did fix it for like $400. So I think that's like the cheapest we've gotten away.
That is, yes, probably the cheapest car repair we've
and
ever had.
I think that he did it easily, and I think he also felt bad for me because I was like, somebody hit me in the parking lot. I don't know who hit me.
Right. We got no insurance claim to file with their insurance company.
Oh my God. Be a good person. If you hit someone, leave a freaking note.
Yes.
And maybe there was a note and it blew away. But I doubt it. Okay, so where was I? The value of a spare key. So what I have learned from this is that we had a spare key, but I need to know where the spare key is. So if you have a spare key, know where it is.
Yes.
And if you don't have a spare key, I would go make one.
Well, yes. Well, we did have it. It was just hidden in Ella's backpack.
So I'm at the orthodontist dumping out her whole backpack, and I'm like, I'm going to find the spare key.
Because what are the odds that both kids lose their keys in the same day?
Oh my God, I was like, really?
How is this possible?
Both of you? I would say that patience is key, but I don't know how much patience I had. I had patience. I searched and searched and searched.
You
and
had persistence.
I think that I was persistent, not patient. But I guess it takes patience to do that.
Yes.
I mean, to tear apart the whole
Yes, you
mudroom.
didn't give up. You kept going.
And I want you to know,
our house is now cleaner because of it.
our house is now cleaner and more organized. I would say that I would persist until I found them, but I was starting to think I was going to tear apart the garage, and then I was going to have a conversation with Seth about just spending the money.
I was prepared to bite the bullet and write the big check.
I was ready to spend the money. So I'm going to tell you how
and then
important.
we would have found the keys again.
If you want dinner, we will give you dinner in a minute. Yeah, I know you're ready for dinner.
At 9:30.
This is our house. It is now, we have cleaned up. We have put all the food away together, the two of us. And now
I have
Lily,
done dishes.
and we have fed the children minus Lily. And now Lily has decided she's finally ready for dinner. So this is parenthood. Kitchen is supposed to be closed, but
Never closed.
the kitchen is never closed. So communication is critical. And what I learned through this process is that I need to talk to all of my family members, all of the people involved, and I need to gather more information. And we need to talk to each other. So if Seth and I would have gone over the morning together, if we would have retraced Max's steps with him, if we would have retraced...
We did Max's steps, which was I came in, I parked, I locked the car,
I
came
went
in
to
the
the
house.
shower. He went to the shower, so I was tearing apart the bathroom, looking in the bathroom. I tore apart the laundry.
Right, every place he had been, right, because you had assumed it was him.
And my friends were awesome. They were like, check. They were like telling me random places to check, and I was checking everywhere. And Kristen was like, go get a metal detector and go through the snow. Like, I was using my supports and I was trying. So
It was not between the couch cushions.
So
by the
Seth
way.
and I did look in the couch. Seth and I needed to talk more because we needed to talk about the fact that he had cleaned off Max's car and what that meant.
Yeah.
So use technology. We have an AirTag that we attached to Max's keys. Max did nothing wrong, but we still attached an AirTag.
Since this incident, since this happened.
This is a new thing. There is now an AirTag on his keys. We should put an AirTag on our keys.
I mean, my keys are huge. They're, in my mind, too big to misplace, but you could do it anyway.
I think we should get AirTags. I don't know.
If you want to get AirTags, we can get
So-
AirTags. I don't think I've thankfully ever lost my keys
So-
because there's they're a big giant thing of keys.
Do you know my friend uses an AirTag on her child?
No.
That is brilliant. Brilliant.
Don't you remember I tried to invent, before AirTags were a thing, I tried to invent an RFID device that you could put on your kids in theme parks and track them. And I went into a manufacturer and actually looked into getting one made.
I think that it is a really good idea to AirTag your child.
Well, where are you attaching that to? And
I'm
changing
gonna-
clothes every day.
I'm gonna guess from if I remember correctly, did she put the AirTag in her sock? She might have put it in the sock. Like, it's a little circle. You
Right,
just
right.
put it into the sock.
Well, if they take their shoes off, I don't. Never mind.
Okay, well, we don't need to worry. I don't think we have
We haven't
Life.
lost our kids.
We
thankfully.
have Life 360.
Yes, we check their phones.
We do use technology. So
Yes.
I would say use technology so that
Yes.
you can keep track of everything.
Yes.
Kristen did email me and say that her dad has AirTags on everything.
I think that might not be a bad idea, like for some parents as they get older.
I think I think that they're inventing more and more cool things and we need
Yes.
to use them to ease our stress.
Yes.
So, honey,
Yes, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
I know you are. I'm not mad at you anymore. I'm a little perplexed. I think I've moved through
The stages of grief.
I've moved through the stages of anger, and I'm not mad at him. I'm just like really perplexed by him, and I was talking to my dad today, and he was asking me about it, and I was like, I think that his head was just already at work. I
Yes,
think he had
I told you
already
that.
left the building.
I was checked out.
And he
I
wasn't
worried about the keys.
How do you not worry about the keys not being hung there? Anyways, so what did you learn from this situation?
I learned that it would have worked better for you if my discovery of the keys had not been a clever detective story to be funny, but had been all just apologies. That would have gone better for you.
Yes.
And I learned to try and be present in the moment, and if there's a situation, try and be present for that problem-solving situation and not have already moved on to the next one that awaits me 15 minutes from now when I'm at work.
I think that what you just said is huge. And I want you to hear me. And this is not a criticism. This is awareness. In the morning, okay, you know what I'm doing. I'm doing,
You and I have very different mornings.
so
yes.
I'm doing breakfasts and lunches, and you're getting ready to go to work. And in your process of getting ready to go to work, you are already at work.
Yes.
Like, you're not home. Like, you don't want to talk to me. You literally want to just go to work. You have all your work stuff on your head.
Yes.
And I don't even know how to change it or if we need to change it, but there is no morning with you.
Well, yes, you are correct. That is an accurate assessment. And it's funny because, like today, I came downstairs and I had been downstairs for 2 seconds and you came at me with your phone and were like, look at this thing and blah, blah, whatever. And I was like, I'm not even up yet.
I don't remember this.
I was like, can you give me, can I do some morning routine stuff and, get in a good headspace before you start attacking me because you've been up for half an hour as a whirlwind in the kitchen and now you're coming at me with something. I'm like, I barely even opened my eyes yet.
I don't even know what was that? Do you remember?
Was it a date or something you needed me to look at? I honestly don't remember either. I just remember the thought of, dear, I haven't even been up yet, woman. Give me a few minutes.
Right, but that is
like your whirlwind racing to get everybody ready morning, which you are a saint for doing. Does it that way? I could not do that. That is not I do not want my morning to be like that. I try and do my own stuff and not get sucked up into the energy because I'm like, I need to go to work in a good emotional mental state. And if I did the whirlwind with you, I would not be there.
I'm not a whirlwind. I'm just happily making lunches and breakfasts. I'm not even a whirlwind.
Okay,
I'm just
I would
standing
say it depends
there.
on the day.
I'm just standing there making lunches and breakfast. I'm just moving. I'm just I get up and I go. There's no relaxing.
Right.
It's
you just have to get up even earlier
oh,
to do it.
oh, I'm gonna get up earlier than 6 o'clock so that I can relax first. So
I know you're related to someone who does, not me, but someone who does that.
okay, so 6
You know someone
o'clock.
who gets up at 4.
6 o'clock is early enough for me.
Yes, I understand.
I
that.
get up at 6 o'clock and I come downstairs and I don't relax. I start making lunches.
Right, and that works. That is your situation. That would not work for me.
So.
Yes, you're right. Your assessment of me already being there and not being fully
And
present is correct.
In my defense, I try not to talk to you at all in the morning. You're off doing your stuff. We don't talk. There's no talking. The amount of talking that we do is what time does Ella want to leave for school? That's literally the only sentence that is said in the morning. To be fair to me.
Yes.
I don't tend to talk to him.
I appreciate
that. So
that.
I don't know what you're talking about from today, but that is not the norm.
I didn't say it was. I just said it was today.
So
You are right.
So we are off topic.
Yes, we are.
But the point of the topic is that you had already left for work in your brain.
Yes.
Which is why you didn't remember that you had the keys.
Correct, 100%.
Which is a huge problem that I hope we can prevent next time.
Okay, he's never lost his keys before. He didn't lose them this time. I did. We should never have this problem again.
You heard it here, everybody.
There you go. You got me on record, honey. I say that to you. You can now say that to me.
I have it on record. Seth will not lose his keys, my keys, Max's
Don't touch your
keys. Okay.
And your keys are huge also.
It was not a fun week looking for keys.
I'm very
and then,
sorry.
So it's Monday, and Seth comes home with the keys and explains how he figured out where the keys were. And it's Tuesday, and I'm like, oh my God, I can get my stuff done. I can work. I can do stuff around the house. I'm not frantically looking for keys. Because every day Max was like, did you find them yet? Did you find them yet? Now, in his defense, he looked a lot too. It wasn't just me.
He spent hours shoveling snow. He looked around the house.
Yeah, it wasn't just Seth. It wasn't just...
No, you did the most, though.
But I, being the one who's home
Right.
and working at home...
You can't look for the keys while he's at school.
I know he's at school. I know Seth's at work. I know Max wants his keys. It was hard for me to get anything done because I just wanted to look for the keys.
Yes.
So that is over.
Thank God.
We are moving on. We
I'm
have
sorry.
learned stuff from this. Communicate with your family. Retrace everyone's steps. You might think it's your son when it's your husband. So just learn from us.
Yep.
And I want to tell you a few things before we go. First of all, Jill Robin Payne is on the podcast on Friday. And the topic is using empathy to improve our relationships. So you can learn about what empathy is. We have also done, thank you for remembering. We have also done 2 challenges. And forgive me, I said I would pick a winner. Lots of people, we have to pick a winner. We have a December challenge, holiday challenge to pick a winner from, and we have my mom's birthday challenge to pick a winner from. So I will pick winners and post it in my Whinypalooza Mom Facebook group. Come and join us. It's a free, supportive community on Facebook. Seth wants to show you something.
Yes, we would like to present, Market Domination would like to present my wonderful wife, Rebecca, with this fantastic award. Look at this solid glass crystal microphone in honor of her 400th podcast episode.
Yay!
Congratulations, honey. That is the picture of persistence right there.
This is beautiful and wonderful, and thank you to Seth and his wonderful team for thinking of me and
designing it.
And Kristen did such an amazing job designing it. It's gorgeous. So now we have to figure out where to put this beauty.
Yes.
Where are we going to put this?
That's up to you.
Oh, it's so pretty. And I told Seth.
It's her precious.
It's precious. And I told Seth that I want a sparkly microphone. So the next time you need to buy me a present, you already bought me a Hanukkah present, I'm sure, maybe, or it's our trip. The next time he needs to buy me a present, I would like a sparkly microphone.
I thought we talked about this and it was the trip, but apparently you forgot.
So we'll do the trip as my Hanukkah present.
It should be all of our Hanukkah presents, but I was overruled.
No, you're right. We could have
Being right doesn't do me any good because it doesn't stop you buying other presents.
I like to buy presents. You're right.
Go to whinypalooza.com. Check out Rebecca's Linktree for all of her resources. Sign up for her amazing free 3 times a week email newsletter about parenting and marriage. And then make sure with all of her content to like, rate, review, share, and subscribe.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome.
Did you talk about the newsletter?
Literally 2 seconds ago. Speaking of being present for the moment, where are you already going to? You're already in bed with your book?
No, I was thinking about something. I totally zoned out.
Yes.
See
how that works? It's okay.
I was not present.
Yes.
Honey, I told you the keys weren't hanging, and you didn't say that you had just had the keys. Okay.
I thought we were over this. I thought you said we were moving on.
Just sing Let It Go
Just
to me.
one more time.
One more time. Okay.
Let it go.
We're letting it go. So
you're letting it go.
Thank you
I'm good.
for joining us. Thank you for laughing with us of the case of the missing keys that were found.
Yes.
And share this with someone who could learn.
Or use a laugh.
I was just going to say learn or get a laugh from us.
Yes.
And
we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Whinypalooza podcast. If you like what you heard, please be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. While you are there, leave a review. I love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.